Welcome to Arcade Audio.
Hey, it's me, Ryan Gosling. It's not. It's Dan. Sorry to disappoint you. Before we start the show, Katie and I just wanted to pop in and make a little bit of an announcement for something new we're bringing to the podcast that we're excited about. So usually we release, as you know, one musical, and we do the full episode. Now we're gonna split it up, but it's not bad news, I promise. Katie, do you want to tell them why it's not bad news?
Yeah, so usually when we're recording, we cut out about an hour of material to try and make it a listenable length for you guys, so we're not talking all day.
Right.
But now we're gonna keep everything, but we're gonna split it into two podcasts, so you'll be getting more content, but they'll just be in smaller chunks.
Yeah, absolutely. So you get about, anywhere from like an hour and 15 to an hour and a half per episode now, which is a lot of our episodes are that long anyway. And like Katie said, it's because we cut so much.
Yeah.
But now you'll get all
for a
that.
long time,
we do.
guys.
We talk a lot, and we want to keep it all in there. But we just realized that not everybody wants to listen to a 4-hour podcast. So
as much as I want to talk that long about musicals, I
Exactly.
don't know if you want to hear it that much.
Exactly. But now we're going to split it up into two. You're going to get all that really great material. And it is all really great. We have a hard time cutting a lot of it, but we have to because we can't do it all in one. So we're going to split those up into two. So starting now, you'll get the first part of every show we do in the first 2 weeks of a month, and then you'll get the second part in the second 2 weeks of the month. So you'll be getting new MusiPals content twice a month, which hopefully that's great. And of course, there's some great bonus content that we'll be creating as well. So hopefully this comes as happy news to everybody.
Yes.
Awesome. All right, should we start the show?
Yes.
Okay. I didn't rehearse this one. I'm so nervous. MusiPals, MusiPals. What did you think of the musical?
That was beautiful.
Isn't it?
I'm jamming out. That was great.
I like the angle that I don't think I've presented to the show yet is the whisper sing, and I'm really good at it.
We're going to turn into an ASMR
Again,
podcast.
oh no, it's happening. The transition.
It's just slowly, every episode we talk about it, and we're just going to slowly turn into one.
The transition is nearly complete. It's alive. Oh, just Halloween references just in time for Halloween, gang.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Well, hey, everybody, welcome to the show. I hope you loved that whisper singing and didn't want to... I feel like some people, there sort of was a ball that welled up in the back of their throat and they nearly vomited at that introduction.
No, I think by now they are on board for whatever introduction
That's true.
you choose.
That's you got me there. Well, welcome to the show. This is, of course, MusiPals. It is a podcast about musicals for our MusiPals. I am your struggling actress in a big, big world, Musanoob Dan.
And I'm Katie, and I'm gonna save jazz. So I'm your music nerd. And we're just talking ourselves today about La La Land.
Woo.
We're so excited.
So timely.
Well, at least I'm so excited. I don't know if you are.
We'll find out. Won't we?
Did you say so timely?
So timely, yeah. Because...
Is that a joke?
No, because... Man, should we just kick right into...
to your intro?
Should we,
Yes,
should we
please,
kick right
please.
into the what do we call this segment?
It's a
MusiPals.
life for us. It's a
MusiPals.
life for us.
That's really cute. Perfect.
Yeah, so hey guys, it's so timely because I'm moving to LA in like a month. Officially, and for like a long time, not for just like a few months like the last time. And we're very, very excited. I won't tell you how I feel about this show yet, but this show is in every way, for those of you who have been to LA, is such like an open love letter to LA. Like they showed the best parts of LA for sure.
The movie?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, absolutely. So yeah, that's what's happening in my my MusiPals life. In terms of other news, I do have one exciting thing that I wanted to share with our listeners. Hopefully, Katie doesn't mind my shameless
Please.
plug here. But I started
I'm excited.
with our second episode guest. Olivia, she did Grease with us. One of our most popular episodes, although Kevin DeLeva's still got it on lock with SpongeBob as our Hall of Fame episode. I started a new podcast with Liv called The Good News Is. It's a podcast where we talk about good news stories because you know what? Pretty much everything is bad right now. And so, of course, if you've listened to it at all, I mentioned the MusiPals several times on that. So we got a lot of cross-marketing going on here.
Amazing. Yes, you guys should all subscribe.
Yeah.
I'll go listen.
Please do. But make sure you finish listening to this episode first. Please.
Yeah, after you're done with this.
Yes.
Since you're already on the podcast app, just go search.
Dig in. Yeah. Subscribe and give us a review. We would appreciate it. So yeah, so
you should also tell them that you're famous.
Oh yes, that's I will say that. The other exciting news in my life is that I officially am on the Internet Movie Database. For you less savvy people, I'm just kidding. Not that big of a douchebag. That's
Oh my
IMDb.
You live in LA for 6 months and you're already insufferable.
For you plebes. For you uncultured boobs. No, I'm on. I have a listing on IMDb now. I'm on. There's two shows. A TV show and a movie that I'm officially a cast member in, and then they're officially on IMDb. And it's honestly like I feel like such a dick because I keep telling people this, but I get so excited every time that I talk about it.
No, it's so cool. It's so cool.
That's good. I appreciate it.
It's amazing. You're famous.
It is really nice. I was literally just like randomly searching through IMDb, and I was like, "What if I searched my name? Holy shit!" And then I was on it.
Famous.
That's right.
Famous.
And the other good news here, really quickly, is I thought of my funny story. So I was in DC recently for work. And I had just finished. I went on this. I did this like competition thing where a team of people run 200 miles up the west coast of Michigan, like overnight, and it was great. And we had a great time. I was trying really hard to compete with everybody, and I did really, really well. My last run, my leg was just in so much pain, but I just ran through it, and we finished, and I thought everything was good. And then I went to DC like a week later, and I was like, all right, I'm on this running game. Like this is the new me. I'm a runner now. And I started running. I went for about a mile to the National Mall, which is like where like the Lincoln Memorial and the George Washington Monument and like the Smithsonian is. It's beautiful. There's so much history there. And I got there and I was like, I'm not feeling great, but whatever. And I did a little stretch. And then I decided, all right, I'm going to pick it up. I'm going to pick up the pace. And I started running and my leg just like seized up because of the original injury. And I just like essentially toppled over in front of this group of Asian tourists, and they did not know what to do. They were like, is this what's happened? Like they were being led by a tour guide speaking in whatever like Asian language. Pardon my ignorance, I don't know them very well. And they just were like, what do we do here? I do not understand what is the appropriate thing to do in this American culture, because I am a visitor here and this man has essentially just assaulted my cultural sensitivities.
The appropriate thing to do is run away.
And then I just got up and I was like, okay, I'm okay. And then I ran away. And then like 30 seconds later, there was another tour group staring at a hawk, and I noticed the hawk. It was like sitting on a bench. It was literally just sitting there. It was giant. And as I was running, I heard the tour guide say, "Ooh, let's see if we can get a good picture of it. If this runner doesn't scare it away." And I didn't hear him say it in time, and I just ran right past the hawk, and it took off running. I was like,
Oh, no.
sorry guys. Listen, I'm going through something. But anyway, that was my fun MusiPals life story.
That's an amazing MusiPals life.
I'm famous. I started a new podcast, and I also assaulted some seemingly very nice tourists.
This is a true Hollywood lifestyle that you're living.
That's right. It was somehow worse that I was making such a fool of myself in front of the founding fathers, like the history of our nation. And then I remember that the person sitting in the White House is making a fool of himself on an hourly basis. So I was like, okay, that's not so bad.
Bum. Jinx.
Nice. I'm glad we both love
Can you say jinx on sounds?
You totally can. But then we have to end the podcast until I can somehow get you a Coke.
That's true.
I like how we both thought that joke was corny enough to warrant the drum roll.
It just felt right. We're just becoming the same.
Yeah, that's great.
Oh boy. That's okay. We want to know. My MusiPals life is great.
That's good.
I am in a singing competition right now. Again.
That same one as last year?
Yes, but this is the
Nice.
All-Stars season.
Whoa.
I'm an all-star. Look out.
Wow.
And it's very cool. It will be over by the time this
Perfect.
airs. But I got into a one-person show festival in New York.
What?
That will be happening November 18th
Oh my God.
at the Pit. So if anyone that listens to this is in New York, please come to the Pit on November 18th, which is a Saturday. My time slot is at 10 p.m. It's either 8 or 10 p.m., I believe. All the info
Show up.
will be online, and please come see it, because I don't know a ton of people in New York, so I don't want it to be like me and my 4 friends. So I'd love it if some people
That's
came and saw
amazing.
it.
What's the show
Yeah.
that you're doing?
It's answering a question that nobody asked. That is, what happens if Donald Trump wrote a one-man show?
Are you doing a Donald Trump impression?
No, it's not an
Oh.
impression, but I am playing him.
Okay.
But it's not like being an orange monster and like doing the voice and everything. It's
screaming.
just me making fun of him for 25 minutes.
Wow.
Basically.
Did you write it?
I am in the process of writing it.
Oh, man.
Yes.
Okay, I want to help. Even if you just send it to me,
have-
I want to help.
Yes, that'd be great. I would love some notes, because I'm kind of having an issue with how to end it right now.
Ah,
But yeah,
I'd
I have
love to
like
help.
4 songs written. I have 2 more, and
Whoa.
I'm very excited about it.
That's awesome. Well, send it to me. I want to
Yeah.
help for sure.
Please, thank you, Dan. That's actually an amazing idea.
That's so cool. And so you're going to do
Yes.
a performance in New York. You go from auditioning to New York, and now you're performing in New York. Look at
Uh-oh,
you.
off Broadway, but
Call you little orphan Annie.
oh my gosh,
NYC.
yes, $3, 2 bags, 1 me.
There's a 30 Rock reference there where like a faux Annie gets off a bus and she sings that, and then someone steals her bag. No, she says, "Someone direct me to the nearest whorehouse," or something like that. It's so good.
I think I remember that.
So good.
It is good.
So what else? Anything else?
I don't know. Nothing else. I don't know. I never have fun stories like you do, young Daniel.
I think about that. The thing is, I just think about. I lead. Oh my God! I thought of another story. Sorry, I lead an absurd. I lead an absurd life. That's the thing.
You do lead an absurd life.
I welcome these absurd moments into my life with open arms, and so I have many stories to recount.
Oh, amazing.
I don't want to.
I got a really cool new jacket
Oh, good.
that I'm very excited about.
Okay, good for you. Where's it from?
It's from Nordstrom.
Oh, all right.
I also got
Your old
a new pair of
employee.
jeans.
Oh,
Yes, I did used to work for for Nordstrom.
They are going to sponsor us. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, please. That'll be the sponsorship of my life. I love shopping at Nordstrom. What else? I've been watching a lot of Arrested Development. I've never watched it before. It's
what?
amazing.
You've never watched it? Oh, man, I'm so glad you're watching it. I was about to do that classic, like, annoying dude thing where I'm like, I can't believe you've never seen it, man. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I've never seen A League of Their Own.
I know. A League of Their Own is great, and you should watch it.
I know. I'll get to it.
First, you should watch Westworld, though.
Oh, my God. We're going to do this again? I'll watch Westworld when you watch Waterworld. and then tweet Kevin Costner about how amazing he did in it. Oh, well, cool.
I'm excited. Yeah, just like general stuff.
All right.
You want to tell your other funny story?
I don't. I'm not going to tell it because I don't want to. I don't want to have two stories. But I will say it involves a dirty soup lid, a train seat, and a woman that I destroyed the day of unintentionally, and I feel terrible about it.
Oh no!
If that's a good enough cliffhanger, go check out my Twitter. It's very recent, so just look at. I live tweeted the whole panicked moment, and
oh no, how could I miss that?
I don't know, but take a look, dear listeners, because it's a doozy. All right, so La La Land.
I'm so excited to get into La La Land.
So tell me about it. Tell me what you think about it.
I'm so excited. Okay. So I'm so glad we're like talking about this and reviewing it when it's like not during like the hype and the award season hype and all the controversy. I watched it for the first time during all that, and I think I was really influenced by like a lot of other people's opinions when I first watched it, and so I wasn't a huge fan. Like I really liked it. I thought the direction was good, but I was just like, yeah, it's just a normal like movie musical. It's whatever. And then rewatching it now,
what was some of the controversy?
Damn, it's so brilliant. A lot of people were upset that it was another movie about like two white people falling in love, and how it's about jazz, and jazz is an African American art form, and Ryan Gosling is not African American. And then a lot of people were mad that like I think that this opinion is wrong, and I will support my claim later. But that John Legend's character was like they perceived him to be a villain, which I think is wrong. I don't think he is intended to be a villain. Yeah, just a lot of that stuff. And then just a lot of like, oh, it's just like such a love letter to Hollywood, and Hollywood like loving on themselves and whatever, which I don't think it's...
You mean the thing I said at the start of this episode?
Yeah, but people were like mad about that, but I don't think that's bad. And I also think like this movie was hard to make, and I really love the message of it. I just like rewatching it, like it's brilliant. It deserved every award that it got. It is brilliant, and we will get into why. But it is amazing. It's amazing.
All right. Well,
what do you think? How do you feel?
I hated that I loved it a lot.
Yes.
Like
yes.
A lot. Like
it's because it's really fucking
listen,
good.
I'm like I'm a grungy hipster who doesn't like doesn't like to like things that other people like. And so I really was, I gotta tell you, I was like, I don't want to like this movie. And I did hear about some of those controversial issues, so that was building a little bit of a wall for me. But I think we can work through some of those. I think there definitely are some missteps in this, but I don't think they are, they warrant writing it off by any means, or not appreciating it as a genuine piece of art.
Yeah.
I'll sell the farm a little. This one, it hit me in my feel bones.
Yes.
I shed a little tear, I gotta say.
I know, it really is so beautiful. It makes you cry.
So here's what I hated so much. I hated that it was so fucking, and I needed to swear there, so I'll put the explicit tag on this one. So fucking relevant to my life.
Me too.
Like
me too.
It like injured me. Like I'm moving to LA to become an actor. Sort of struggling with a well-paying but not fulfilling day job, which I think was that's kind of what Ryan Gosling's character went through. But just the themes, riding between achieving your dreams and making money by selling out a little bit, even still you're kind of doing something cool. It injured me so bad. And it
Seriously.
and I got really attached to I think honestly and truly, I've liked the few musicals that I've enjoyed that have been mostly comedic in nature, and I've enjoyed them at that aspect because of the comedy. I've never really gotten attached to characters in musicals, I think because they're so necessarily fake, right? Because people don't burst out into song in real life. That's not realistic. So
that is not true. I definitely burst out
right.
into song in real life.
Fair
But continue.
I've never, whatever reason, and we can probably wax poetic about the reason, but I've never gotten invested in the characters in any of the shows we've watched, and I got really invested into Mia and Sebastian. I just was in it to win it with them. And so it was a little heartbreaking at the end for me.
Yeah.
But
It's so beautiful.
I look forward to talking about, I got some good notes. And I'm really looking forward to talking about, in particular, I wanted to talk about John Legend's character. And I'm looking forward to getting into some of the race issues, because I think they probably could have worked a little harder to avoid some of those issues. But again, I don't think they made any steps that warrant writing them off, and I loved it. It was amazing.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think it's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, this will probably be our least goof-filled musical, because I'm just I got nothing to make fun. Well, no, I have a lot to make fun of, but yeah. So before we, of course, jump into the synopsis, I think it's time for everyone's favorite segment. 3, 2, 1. Nerd alert.
Nerd alert.
All right, what you got?
Okay, so since this is the first, we've talked about other movie musicals with Sound of Music in Oklahoma, and some others, but this is the first one that really encompasses the genre of the Hollywood glamorous movie musical. So I was thinking we'd talk about the history of this genre and the style a little bit, and then talk about specifically what the nerd alert about the movie. But I think to understand this movie, you have to understand all the other movies that it's referencing.
Oh, okay.
And was inspired by.
I didn't even realize. I knew it was an homage, mostly because HBO said it was an homage in the synopsis. But I didn't realize there were specific references, so I look forward to hearing those.
Yeah, oh my gosh, it's so brilliant. There's so many amazing specific shots that were recreated in the choreography, and it's so good. So the first film that had sound attached was The Jazz Singer, and is featuring Al Jolson singing all these songs, and so that kind of I think it's so cool that film itself and the talkies is so connected to to music, and it kicks off a whole thing in and of itself there. And so Warner Brothers produced the first screen operetta, and then there are a lot of little versions like that throughout the 20s and 30s. The 30s really kicked off the golden age of movie musicals, and with people like Busby Berkeley making things that are just iconic films, 42nd Street, and tons of other films where he really used the camera as a part of the dancing and as another dancer, and really used the camera in amazing ways to show off the choreography. And then there were really huge stars that were all in musicals, like Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers. In movies like Top Hat, they're just really iconic actors and actresses, and films that we still think about to this day. Everyone knows who Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers are.
I know the names.
Yeah, but like even if you haven't seen one of their films, like if someone were to reference them, like
Yeah, for sure.
who that is, because like these movie musicals are so like such a huge deal. And so like during the 40s and 50s, all these MGM musicals came out, and stuff like American in Paris and Singing in the Rain and Bandwagon and Easter Parade and On the Town, and with all these stars like Judy Garland and Gene Kelly, and tons of others. Like what we think of as like a movie musical, that style was really created in that time. Like lots of bright colors, lots of like really fun, fantastical, huge sets with like tons of dancers and lots of glamour and drama and stuff that you couldn't achieve on stage because it wouldn't be practical. And so you have these like really lavish sets and really lavish costumes and huge scores, and it's just like it's really romantic and huge, and like just like this really like a beautiful heightened reality, and that's like those are like the classic like made for movies musicals.
Yeah.
Instead of stuff like Sound of Music that started on the stage and then went to film, which even though like the Sound of Music, the movie is like, as we talked about, like this huge production value and like huge feats were made, like it's still like this kind of style of like, take Singing in the Rain for example, like there's lots of dream sequences, there's lots of like long imaginary dance numbers like American in Paris. There's the reference at the end of La La Land, the like dream ballet type of thing, like imagining what their relationship would have been, was like an homage to An American in Paris. It has at the end where it's like very experimental and like a little weird. Singing in the Rain gets like really weird at the end. It's great. And then like during the 60s, like West Side Story and Music Man, My Fair Lady and Mary Poppins, and then The Sound of Music and Three Modern Millie and Oliver and Funny Girl and Hello Dolly, like all these other movie musicals started coming out. And then like in the 70s, it's kind of like Fiddler on the Roof and Cabaret were like the big ones, and like Rocky Horror Picture Show, and then it's like not that much else. But New York is great and like also influenced La La Land a lot. It's like pretty much the same story.
But in a different city. That makes sense.
Yeah, but it's Liza Minnelli, and
who's in Arrested Development?
It's a Scorsese film, and Robert De Niro. Yeah.
Callback.
Oh my God, Liza is perfect in Arrested Development.
She's amazing.
She is
Lucille. Lucille too.
Oh my God, it is so good. She's Vertigo. It's the dumbest, best choice I've ever experienced.
She takes advantage. Like she overacts it so beautifully.
Oh my God, it's so good. Okay, calm down. And then as then we get into 80s, 90s, and more contemporary movie musicals like that. But the main history lesson is about these big, grand, bold MGM movie musicals from the 40s and 50s. So, La La Land is a combination of a lot of things, obviously, but a lot of it is drawing on those old movie musicals and juxtaposing that grandeur with real, like, life contemporary heartbreak and like real life contemporary issues and a real life relationship. And so it was written by Damien Chazelle, right? That's how you say his last name, I think. Chazelle.
I don't know.
Chazelle. I think. I'm sorry, Damien. And he was the director of Whiplash. He wrote La La Land first, but no studio wanted to buy into it. They didn't think it would work, and so Whiplash was easier to sell, so he got that made, and it got a lot of critical acclaim, and so then he was able to make La La Land. And the whole idea was to take an old musical but grounded in real life, where things don't necessarily work out like how they do always in the old musicals. So we put it in real life. and it's about being in Los Angeles and your career and dreaming all these dreams and, you know, following your passion.
And I don't want to interrupt, but that was a really big point for me. That was like the thing. I think that's the thing that grounded it so much for me, or hit me so hard, is that it was so real. You know, like
Totally.
they walked through Griffith Park, which I walked through all the time. They walked through the streets of L.A. Like it seemed very real, and then not to mention the fact that, you know, it's not an overly happy ending. You know, things don't always work out the way you expect or want them, and so. Yeah, that was awesome. That's such a cool choice that I hated, but I you know, it was like the love to hate sort of thing.
It's so amazing. It's so good. So originally, Miles Teller and Emma Watson were cast and set to star in this movie, but Emma Watson had to leave to do Beauty and the Beast.
Wait, Emma Watson was supposed to be?
They were supposed to be like too young, like fresh, just moved to LA, like kids.
I would not have been able to handle it if Emma Watson was in it. There's no way. I would have died. I would have died in my couch.
You would have just wept. You would have been wrecked.
Oh my God. And not to say Emma Stone was bad, but just Emma Watson is... Whew.
No, but I like that they're like a little bit older, a little bit more mature, that they've been like struggling in LA a little bit longer instead of like too like fresh-faced things. I think because Ryan Gosling was originally said to be the Beast in Beauty and the Beast, but then he left that to do La La Land. Yeah.
Whoa.
Isn't that crazy?
A lot of cross-pollination here.
Yeah. But I love Emma Stone and Ryan Gosling so much. I love their on-screen chemistry. I think they're both amazing, and I love watching them do anything. So I think they're great replacements.
It's a good trade-off, I think. Like, I don't know much about Miles Teller, but I'm a big fan of Ryan Gosling, so I think, you know, and not to say Emma Watson is, never mind. It was, the pair to me equal the same as the other optional pair, potential pair. That's all I have to say about that.
Okay. I like Miles Teller a lot, but I like the choice of having them be a little bit older for this movie. Yeah, so I mean, the style of the movie I'll go into color in depth a lot later. I have many thoughts and feelings. But I think what's so great about this film too is like it really captures the style of like head to toe shots and like one long take or seemingly one long take for dance numbers and stuff like that. Like it's not a lot of chopping. That Ryan Gosling really learned how to play piano, so they didn't have to cut away to his hands and then cut back up. Yeah, he's really playing all the songs. Yeah.
Wow.
And that they're like, you know, they're really doing all the stuff. They're really tap dancing. It's not like cutting to their feet and then cutting up, you know. So,
that's amazing.
And that goes into the old style. Yeah. It's really like, it's the best. It's so good. I'll tweet that video that I found of the choreographer going over like what went into shooting the opening scene of the movie. And like where there was only 2 cuts in it. They hid 2 cuts, and then the rest of it is like single takes from the camera. It's crazy.
Wow, I didn't even notice that.
And she like talks about all the organization that like went into making it. And it's so cool.
Wow, super cool.
Yeah, I don't know. It was a huge success. It got a lot of critical acclaim. It made a ton of money. And it's a great movie. Is there anything else I missed? I don't think so.
That's crazy. I enjoyed the movie at face value, and I enjoyed the story and some of the aspects of it, but I didn't realize it was such an artistic endeavor as well. I guess I just, you know, when you watch something for the first time, you're paying attention to the most sort of front and center thing that, you know, which is the story. Yeah. So I think if I watch it again, maybe I'd pick up on some of those more artistic aspects. But that's incredible. I can't believe he learned how to play piano. They learned how to dance. Obviously, they had to take some singing lessons. They were just okay with singing, but still, they had to, like. And I was actually thinking about something as I was watching it that I remember you were bothered by how much they auto-tuned Emma Watson in Beauty and the Beast, and it didn't seem quite as robotic in this, right? Like Emma Stone seemed
Totally.
like you could hear there were moments where she was like, well, less her and more Ryan Gosling, where they didn't quite hit the pitch, but you were okay with it. Like it still fit, which was awesome.
Yeah, I think that's great because I think like if you're gonna do a musical, the voice has to show all the emotion. You know,
Right.
you're singing for a reason, and it's because you're feeling something. And if you auto tune that away, then it's too stale. It's not good, and so it takes away from the performance. And so I love that. Like, I think it was a really clear, deliberate choice from them for like Emma Stone's character, like in the beginning when she's singing like to herself in the mirror and stuff like that. Like it's a very like soft voice, and she's like not hitting everything like totally spot on. And then like by the end when she finds her voice and she's singing in the audition and she's like belting it out, I think that's such a cool character arc. And like I would love to see this movie done with like two like musical theater actors and like see what it sounds like and see what happens with like two.
It wouldn't be as authentic, I feel like.
No, I mean, I feel like let me finish. I feel like it would be. I want to see what it sounds like with like two trained voices and trained dancers and like see the magic that way. But I also love this, how they got just like two really good actors to just play these characters. And like I think that's what a musical should be, is like singing and dancing. Like it's for everyone and it's just telling a story.
Yeah,
you know what
absolutely.
I mean? Like it's just two real people that are feeling these things.
Yeah. That's what I agree. I think it's the more approachable musical, right? Like I think La La Land's had more, probably, I mean, I wouldn't, outside of the massive music theater, I don't even want to call it a niche, but you know what I mean? Like the musical theater audience, like La La Land seems to have had the most universal acclaim in a while, at least, even more than like Les Mis, which was just as big budget. And I think, and maybe I'm wrong there, but if that is...
No, I disagree. I feel like everyone was like excited for Les Mis, and it won a lot of Oscars.
Yeah, but you're a musical theater nerd, so you're biased. Just kidding.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean maybe not, but nonetheless, like it's just super approachable. You know, it's just a very approachable show.
Yeah, but I just feel like all musicals are approachable.
Yeah, you feel like that because you love musicals.
Things, and I love it, and I want everyone else to love it.
Exactly.
I'm gonna make them love it.
Well, you're wrong. No.
I'm not wrong. I'm very right. These are like every musical is just like dealing with human feelings. It's just everyone's like too cool to listen to a show tune.
Yeah, I mean that's probably like 90% of it, but also it's like it's campy and it's kind of annoying.
Like we've
sometimes.
all watched Rent. They're dealing with real issues in that.
Seen Rent.
What?
Obviously, I'm doing a podcast right now about the fact that I've never seen musicals. Of course,
right.
I've not seen
I
Rent.
can't get mad. Rent is on the list like first now. We have to watch Rent. You're not going to like it, but we have to watch it.
I did have a solo in Rent in Seasons of Love in middle school and high school. In truth that she learned, or in times that he cried. In the bridge she burned, or the way that she died.
It's time now to sing up those stars.
We're just gonna sing. This podcast just gonna be us.
Let's just give a full
me
performance of
singing
Seasons
poorly
of Love.
and Katie singing in the background.
I was the Seasons of Love soloist in the Rent production in college.
Ooh.
The lady that like hits the high note.
Oh,
and
nice.
I got it over some seniors, and they like hated me for it.
One of the most talented.
There's a lot of drama.
Drama kids doing drama. One of the most talented cats to ever leave my high school. This guy named Josh. He did the high note solo, and friggin' nailed it. It was awesome.
Josh.
He's crazy. He also lives in LA.
Nice.
Anyway. Cool. Well, I think that was a great nerd alert. I think there's a lot of stuff. I'd like to dig into some stuff now, but I feel like let's just dig into the show, and I'm sure some of this other stuff will come up for sure. Unless there's anything else you had.
Yeah. No, I think it's great. I think like I'm excited to talk color. I'm excited to talk music. I'm excited to talk direction and lighting, but we'll get to that scene by scene.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's close this thing out the way we know how to do. 3, 2, 1.
Nerd-alerted. That was good. We were like
It was
together
really
on
good.
that.
I love that you even sounded a little bit like a frog in a good way. It was great. Oh my god! I felt like I
that
was
a good
just
frog?
swallowed. Oh my god! Please stop. Oh god.
If you do that, I'm gonna do this voice.
Have you watched that new show on Netflix?
This is an auditory disaster. I just want you to know.
All right. We'll stop. We'll focus.
And now, for your feature presentation, it's the synopsis.
All right. So we're opening up. And the very first thing I said is, thank God, finally, they're putting a damn time frame on this movie by showing these shitty Ford Escorts and Aztecs. Like, finally, I immediately know that this is somewhere between 2000 and 2017, and I was so happy about it. I finally freaking knew what setting we were in. I had no idea what going in. I thought I actually kind of thought this was like set in the 70s.
Really?
Yeah,
Interesting.
I just thought I don't know. It was just like sort of my assumption. Oh man.
No, I think it's great. This whole opening is so cool.
Yeah. So it's another day of sun.
Yes.
All right. So let's talk about why it's cool because, granted, I went into this movie with very skeptical, and I was like, "This is awful." Like it was corny, and the lyrics were terrible, and.
No.
And like they were forming dance circles and doing parkour, and like come on, it was so dumb. I didn't why was that good? Like it wasn't even that.
Why
good.
was that good?
Yeah,
Because it was good, Daniel.
So
Because it was.
It was just so deeply cheesy, and it was just campy for campy's sake.
No, it wasn't.
I did.
You're wrong.
I hated it.
Okay, so the first lines of the first verse that this lovely woman sings are about a story similar to Mia's character, and then the first lines that the guy sings, like the second verse, is a story similar to Ryan Gosling's character.
Oh,
so
okay.
it sets up the whole show.
All right.
And
I'm an
it's
inch in. I still
really
hate it,
freaking cool that they're all. I love the choreography in this. I think it's really great. It's like grounded in real life gesture and movement, but it's just a little bit heightened. It sets up the world that we're about to enter really well, of like a fantasy but still real. It's just such a cool fantasy to be like, well, I'm stuck in traffic, so we might as well like have fun together and like do this dance and have all these different people represented and all these different cultures and like all these different types of movement and like it's just really cool.
I did write down two things that you just said. One, that I've always wanted to do that in traffic, like just get out and just like fuck it, we're here forever.
It's great.
And then the other thing is like straight up, like legitimately, that was a very diverse opening scene. Like there was a lot of different colors of people represented, which was fantastic. Like that was very legitimately well cast. It wasn't like whitewashed. I think it would have been like nauseating if it was whitewashed on top of how
I thought it was so cool.
It was great.
Like
that part,
woman of color starts off the whole thing of like flamenco dancing and then like crumping and like b-boy stuff and this like cool band in the truck just like comes out of nowhere.
Can you at least can we at least agree on one thing? That the beefy dude doing parkour was the worst. Just that. That's all I'm asking.
No, I'm into it.
It was
just all fun.
Weird twists and jumps over cars. Like it wasn't even good parkour.
I don't know. I could have done without the parkour and the BMX bike, but I'm on board for the whole thing and I like it. No, I'm not agreeing with you.
I am reading through some of these lyrics now and I'm picking up what you were laying down and now I'm kind of like, okay, that's kind of cool.
I think it's brilliant. It tells you exactly what kind of story we're going to see right from the get-go. The girl's like, I think about that day when I like left my boyfriend and hopped on a Greyhound bus from Santa Fe to move to LA, and you know, I loved him, but I knew what I had to do for my career, and maybe I'll be in a movie and he'll think about me. And then the guy is like, you know, I just had to work hard and like show everyone that I wanted it more. And you know,
it does capture like, all right, I'm actually on board now because I'm reading more of these lyrics. Like, I hear them every day. The rhythms in the canyons that'll never fade away. The ballads in the bar rooms left by those who came before. They say you gotta want it more, so I bang on every door. And even when the answer's no, or when my money's running low, the dusty mic and neon glow are all I need. So it is kind of capturing it. Like, literally, almost everyone in this city is trying to make it big, and the only way to do it is just to keep going and keep trying and trying and trying, and it might never happen, but at least you're doing the thing that you love, and you have to take solace in that, that's kind of a nice thing, especially for someone who's actively, you know, doing just that.
Yeah, it's so lovely. It's beautiful.
Yeah. All right. Well, I still thought it was super cheesy, but I think the song is cool. You win. 1 point. I win. Point to Katie.
Yeah.
Well, then that's it now, because that's like the only issue the only genuine issue I had with the whole show, like with the plot of the show.
Yeah. Well, it's a freaking good movie. Like, you can't, like, it's just freaking good.
It is. All right, and then they meet because it was love at first road rage.
It's amazing. Just like flips them off.
That's probably how. It was honestly probably how Liv and I met. Like we don't even remember. She's got such bad road rage. She probably like flipped me off in traffic, and I was like, oh, hey there.
Oh, hello.
And then we obviously stop me if you have anything, but we take it to the coffee shop where we find out that she works on the Warner Brothers lot, which. Quick side note, when I did the Warner Brothers tour in LA, they let us go to that coffee shop, like sit outside of it. It was pretty cool. That's the very
cool.
one.
From La La Land. Oh, I want to say one thing about that scene. So color is a huge deal in this movie. The color red, I'm going to point it out a few times, but when things are red and when there's like red light or people wearing red and stuff, it's when they're like it like represents like their passion for their like art and their craft. And so this actress that comes in is wearing a red dress. Well, that's not confirmed, but that's how I feel.
No, yeah. There's never.
So she comes in wearing a red dress, and it's like
confirmed film theory. They're all just
yeah. So. But it's so she comes in wearing a red dress, and it's like this is who Mia wants to be. Like this is this is why she's doing what she's doing, is because she wants to like be a movie star, and she wants to be in movies.
Yeah.
And like this lady, and so it's like representing her dreams, like coming in and then like going away.
Yeah, and
she doesn't have it yet. And then there's like a ton of other places where she's like bathed in red light that we can talk about later and stuff.
That's super cool. Yeah, please do point those out. I'm excited to hear about some of those that I'm trying to think of some right now, but I can't off the top. But I'm sure when you say them, I'll remember them.
Yeah, it took me a few watches to get it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's super cool. And like she doesn't have them like pay for her coffee. She insists, which is a nice like selfless moment that showed. To your point, it shows that this is a person who just does it for the craft and not for maybe the fame. And then I love the calendar, the audition calendar reminder, because how many times have you gotten those? Like so often, I'm like, shit, and then I have to like, fuck, what was the audition? Then I'm like, my first thought is I didn't prepare for this, even though I did.
I know.
I love that. It was very relatable.
Oh, it's so great. And then like Emma Stone does like the best acting.
Oh my God! Like
I've ever experienced of like this fake phone call,
I know.
And she is like should win an Oscar just for that scene, and then
Seriously.
that lady like interrupts her. Oh my god!
I have to imagine the woman who was acting with her in that scene was like, "Oh shit! I keep forgetting to say my line because this is so good."
I know.
She killed it. I wrote that. She killed this.
She killed it. Like she should have booked that job. It's crazy that she didn't book that job.
It's because she was wearing.
Hollywood is the worst.
She wasn't wearing a white shirt because it was coffee stained.
I guess. Oh, another thing about color is Mia in the beginning of this movie, like you see her in these really bright blues and really bright colors, like that jacket's really bright and her dress at the party is really bright. And then as she like matures and goes through the movie and like achieves her dreams, she gets like to more neutral tones. And when she's like a pure art form, whereas like Sebastian starts off really neutral and like pure and like not a lot of and like muted colors, and then like when he gets in the band, when he feels like for himself that he's selling out, it's like bright like primary tones, and then he gets more neutral towards the end with his band again too.
Oh, that's super cool.
The way that color works in this and costuming in this.
So you can sort of follow the character arcs based on the colors that they're sort of put in. That's fantastic.
They're wearing, and the colors that are around them.
Yeah,
too.
so like Mia is sort of like on a steady decline downward, and then Sebastian's sort of like a bell curve is kind of what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. That's cool. Super cool. Then we cut to her her apartment, and I wrote like, listen, I don't want to go all friends on you here, but like she could not afford that LA apartment on a barista's salary. And then I saw,
but maybe her roommates are like really
well.
rich
Then I
or
saw
something.
she had like 6 roommates, and they alluded to the fact that one of them was successful because she was like, I promise when I find a part for you, I'll give it to you. Like it alluded to the fact that maybe she's like in casting or something, you know.
Yeah, she just seemed like better at networking.
Yeah, maybe that's true.
Because she was the one that like was talking to the amazing LA cliche character that was so awful. That was like, I'm just a world creator at that party.
Oh yes.
So, just like
I wrote
typical
down
LA douche canoe.
I wrote down a line of his that I'll read in a moment.
But that scene in their apartment is like it's such a good song. It's so fun.
Well,
it recreates like stuff from Grease.
Oh, okay. Like the
when they're
bedroom?
singing in the bedroom
Yeah.
together. Yeah.
Okay. Like that.
It's like when they're walking down the hallway and then there's like the hairdryer in her hair and the glitter thrown in the back. Like it's so fun. It's so good. It's so vibrant.
It's super
amazing.
vibrant. Like I noticed all the primary colors. This is where and you don't have to argue this point because I was already flipped. But I did I did note that like I was like, I mean, I'm kind of not liking Emma Stone in this role because all these women are like clearly Broadwayites. You know, they're like very bubbly, and not that everybody in Broadway is bubbly, but you know, man, they fit the archetypical. Like, they're in your face and they're loud and they're like good dancers. And so I was like, I don't know that I like Emma Stone in this, but then I realized that's sort of like an intentional choice as we move throughout the movie, which I appreciated. But initially, I was like, this is weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because I think they like got Emma Stone and Ryan Gosling, and they're like, "Oh, this is a musical. Like, we should cast some people that
right
are like singers and dancers."
Yeah. I think that I think
they're still not like they're better They're like better movers than Emma Stone is, but like there's not like full extension on the kick and stuff. Like it's not like full like Broadway.
Yeah, that's definitely stuff I would have noticed.
Like it's not like it's still not like full on.
Yeah. I think
still not full on.
I think that choice though, even if they weren't sort of full on, I think the choice to make Emma Stone, I realized towards the end of the movie was because she sort of had this genuine raw talent. Mm-hmm. And passion, I think, was the other aspect. She truly was unique, right? Because so many people are just trying to do it for the wrong reasons, and they're not passionate about it. They just want to get famous. They just want the money. And she was genuinely passionate about it. And I think that sort of set her apart from the kind of campy people in the show, which I thought was a nice choice.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
But I also think that her friends are like nice.
Yeah, totally.
They like support her at her one-woman show. Like they're in the audience.
Yeah, it's a nice.
They're there for her.
It's nice to show.
They're trying to help by getting her to this party. You know.
Yeah. It's nice to show in their own way. Women supporting other women, especially in such a competitive world. Because obviously not being a woman myself, but in a lot of times in competitive spaces, we see women bringing other women down, especially in media. So it's nice to see that sort of Anne and Amy Poehler in Parks and Rec, Anne and Leslie relationship.
Yeah, it's so fun. It's just like, it's like, that's a house I'd want to move into right away. Like,
Right.
they're so fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then we take it to that party. I don't have anything in the party other than I love a cool slow-mo scene. So that was fun watching her walk through. Everyone's making out, sort of like how I was at every college party, just like, oh, well, everyone's making out. I guess I'll head out,
Yikes.
guys.
Yikes. Okay, and just one quick thing about color is like another like the juxtaposing color in this movie from red is gold, and so like there's a gold like frame literally around the party, like the champagne and stuff, like the whole party is gold, like, and it like represents the money and the glitz and the glamour of Hollywood, like all the fake money sellout shit. And then she like escapes to a red bathroom. Like it's just it's like an entirely red bathroom, which is like her and her passion. And it's like, where do I fit in? I have this love for this thing. Like I don't fit in this like just caring about money Hollywood world. Yeah. And the choreography is super cool with the pool and stuff, and it's like referencing Boogie Nights. It's great.
Yeah. All right. Then she walks home, which I was like, take a damn lift. It's 2017. But,
yeah.
But
and it's not romantic.
Yeah, right. She has to do that for the meet cute with Sebastian.
Yes. And when she meets him, there's red lights outside the club.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then she walks into the club. And this is where I started, like, almost immediately. I loved Ryan Gosling's character because he was so snarky with the bar owner. He was like, usually it's one for you, one for me, but we'll do two for you, two for me, and then or two for you, one for me, and then they like negotiate, and then he goes, how about all for you, none for me? And he goes, yeah, and he goes, because that's my decision. No, because it's my decision, and I sign off on it. It's so good.
Ryan Gosling is the most charming man.
It's really.
He's just like so charming.
This is the most I've ever heard him speak, and I was like, okay. I never disliked him, but I was like, I don't know that you can actually act. Like you can do a moody role really well, but I was looking forward to seeing him actually act.
What have you seen him in?
I think I saw him. I don't remember him in The Notebook, but I saw him in that. But then I loved him in Drive and in Blade Runner too, but.
I haven't seen Blade Runner yet.
He doesn't talk in either of those
but
movies.
You need to watch Crazy Stupid Love because that's a really good rom-com, and he's really good in that. And Emma Stone's really good at it. And Steve Carell is really good in that. Everyone's really good at it.
To dig into that. But yeah, I loved how the thing that I love most about that scene is realizing how shitty Christmas songs are, because when he like stopped playing them and went into like really cool music, I cannot believe he really played that. Like the whole thing.
Yes,
God.
He really learned how to play those songs.
That's spectacular. Like that's real.
It is spectacular.
I play piano not super well, but man, that's some tough stuff. He was really good.
Yeah.
Wow. So then we go into Mia and Sebastian's theme.
So beautiful.
And God, I don't want to keep doing this, but then he goes, "You're fired." See, that's what you're saying, but it's not what you mean. What you mean is this is a warning. It's so good. What else? Oh, and then we go into her goofy auditions, like playing a cop and
the goofy auditions are amazing. Amazing. But the one she gets a callback for is when she's wearing a red jacket.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Man, they really do love color. That's cool.
The color is.
Oh, we should probably
right
mention that Gosling snuffs Stone.
Yeah. Not another good love at first sight. Cute moment.
Right. But it was exactly what I wanted to happen. Like in that case,
I
didn't want them to be like, oh, let's go dance together. Like I was like, come on. So,
and then I like in the end with the like imaginary moment when they like. But when they like turn it and go straight to a kiss in that moment. Anyway, we'll talk about it when we get to the end.
Yeah, super cool.
But
so then she goes to that other party, right?
Yes, with the 80s cover band.
Yes,
with the douche LA guy.
Yep, that was great. And so the thing I didn't realize is like if they ever take this to a stage show, do they have to get the rights to those songs, or that's one thing I was like, shouldn't you do all originals for a musical? That's a genuine question I have for you. Like I didn't understand how that was okay.
I'm sure they got the rights to it. I think it's just to show that like this is like the opposite of the music that he likes. This is like
Yeah,
the
no,
shittiest
I get that.
music.
I just meant like literally, like logistically, how logistically that's
Logistically,
allowed.
like they would probably just make a random 80s sounding song.
Oh,
and,
okay,
like,
that makes sense. All right,
like write a new 80s song and just like everyone pretends that it was a pop song at the
gotcha.
time.
Okay, that makes sense.
You know,
Yeah, now
I would love to see this on stage. It'd be cool.
Be super
But
cool.
anyway,
Yeah. Yeah, she
I have a
makes
knack
him,
for world building is the worst sentence I've
so
ever
he
heard.
says, later on he says, there's a lot we don't know. There could have been a fourth bear. We don't know. he's talking about Goldilocks and the Three Bears.
Goldilocks, but it's from the bear's perspective.
It's so good. Like,
LA is the
your
worst place
classic,
in the world.
your classic, like, terrible idea that someone, because they wrote 3 other decent movies, gets to write and someone makes it into a
Or
movie.
even shitty movies. They made
Yeah,
the
that's true.
Emoji Movie.
Yeah.
Like, there's no...
Well, yeah, but I'm assuming the writer of the Emoji Movie had at least one successful movie to put for someone to accept that shit idea.
Oh, it's just all awful. But then it's so cute when she requests Iran
Yeah,
and dances.
That was
It's
good.
like so
to get back at
cute.
him for bumping into her.
Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then he saves her by her own doing. I like that she is the sort of damsel in distress, but she saves herself by making him be her sort of knight in shining armor. You know, like she takes control of the situation.
You're like, hey, you.
Yeah, she's like, you're gonna save me, by the way.
George Michael. Yeah.
Yeah. And then they're walking to the car, and they say, God, I don't remember what this is about. All the Priuses. No, he says, I think it gives you cancer. So you don't live as long, but you get where you're going faster. It all evens out in the end. What does he say that about?
When she can't find her car, so he's like, put
Oh,
your keys up to your chin.
chin, yeah.
And then she does it at the end of the song, and then she finds her car right
That was
away.
such a great line. I mean, you don't live as long, but you get where you're going faster, so it all evens out.
So it all evens out. Ryan Gosling's the coolest.
Yeah, he is.
He's the coolest.
One quick note about that scene: the exact hill, or at least the hill they're trying to depict. I genuinely couldn't tell if that was. It looked like it was green screened and they built a stage, but it could have just been like a really well lit actual environmental scene, because that's actually like a really beautiful area. I walked up that very hill, or the hill they're trying to portray, with my mom and dad, and my dad almost murdered me at the end. He was like, don't you ever
Why?
fucking make me walk up a hill like that again. It was so good.
That's amazing.
'Cause it's
they
on-
also really shot it outside.
Did they? Okay, good.
But they probably color corrected the sky
Yeah,
and
I
stuff
imagine.
after.
Yeah. But that's the hill, really just before the Griffith Observatory, where they go later on.
It's beautiful. That whole scene's beautiful.
Yeah.
And talking about color, it's the first time that before this in the movie, everything's been really primary colors, and then this is the first time the sky is purple, and it's like primary colors coming together, and they're connected and like melding and like making something new and beautiful, and it's really great.
Yeah.
And the song is so cool. The lyrics are so great. It's kind of like a top hat thing, like this would be so romantic for someone else. Like, it's great.
Yeah, exactly. I love that it's sort of a cheesy, like, we're falling in love song, but it's like an anti-love song. It's like, God,
But we're fighting.
yeah, I wish I had someone that I cared
like
about.
a people would say we're in love.
Yeah.
From Carousel or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, it's great.
It was super cool. I just loved how anti-rom-com or whatever musical theater version of rom-com this was, while still being that. It was
Still
great.
being that. Well, okay, but musicals do this all the time, so like, don't hate on musicals.
Oh, they do? Like,
Yeah.
all right, well. This is.
I just referenced 2 that have done the same thing.
I thought when you were saying that they do the cheesy thing, not the.
No. In
Oh.
Top Hat, they have a song like, isn't this a lovely day to be caught in the rain? Like, anyway.
But that's
It's
cheesy.
just basically about, like, if we were in love, like,
Oh.
this would be a great romantic time.
Yeah.
But we're not in love, so I guess it's not. And then in Carousel, it's like, if we do these romantic things, people will say we're in love, so we shouldn't do that. And then, like, if I loved you, then I would do this, but I don't love you, so I'm not going to do that.
All right. Well, never mind.
No, but it's great dance. It's great fun.
Yeah.
It looks beautiful.
Can't believe they actually tapped. That was cool.
I'm sure they there wasn't a mic, and I'm sure they were making the sounds.
for sure.
I'm sure the sounds were recorded, but like they were doing the dance.
Yeah,
Like it's great.
That's
you
super
know?
cool. That's impressive. I mean, even because it sounded very professional, so I'm sure they like pre-recorded either 1,000 takes of them doing it or like an actual professional did it. But even just watching them tap a little bit was impressive.
Yeah, I'm sure just the tap sounds were added in post, but
Yeah, right.
but it's great. Very good.
And then he sneaks past the security guards to meet her at the coffee shop, or runs past the security guards.
This is so great.
Can I hide in the bathroom for 10 minutes? Yep. It's a great scene. I was
This
actually
lady,
caught by
like,
surprise
needing
by
her
that.
refund.
Like, maybe I was just letting myself start to really like this movie, but like I was genuinely caught by surprise. I didn't expect that to happen after the previous number. And then he was there, and I was like, oh, all right, I see what's going on here. They're falling in love.
I'm so glad that he's here. So you better have watched the Color Story then.
What?
Nothing.
Okay.
The purple tells you that now they're in love. So
Oh, see, I want you to say that. I want to rewatch it.
I did say that.
No, I didn't hear you.
You're not listening to
Why?
me.
How do I keep missing these things? I'm sorry.
It's okay.
That's cool.
Anyway, that's such a romantic, beautiful like scene of them walking through the lot.
Yes. I'm sorry. I promise this is the last time that I wrote down a quote, but he goes, they shoot movies on my street all the time. I know all about this.
It's so good. My favorite quote that I wrote down was like, you should write your own stuff so you don't have to keep auditioning for this pishy caca.
Yeah, Pishkaka. And he says it a couple times.
Bro, this pishy caca.
Yeah.
Ryan Gosling's the coolest.
He sucks.
great.
I hate that he's so great.
He's so great.
How can you be
He's so
good looking
cool.
and a great actor? It's not fair. Brad
Oh,
Pitt.
not fair.
And then she says, I hate jazz, just so you know, and he sets him off, but in a good way. He takes her to the jazz club, and
To the old jazz club.
he lays into the jazz history leans in a little hard, I'd say. Kind of sounded like a dad.
He mansplains jazz to her. Like,
A
I
little
know
bit.
she doesn't know about it, and so it's not mansplaining, but like,
To me,
he's on down.
To me, it was more like a dad describing like a Vietnam pilot or something. I was like, okay, I know you're excited about this, but I'm not. So cool out a little.
But I think it's cute how excited he gets. I would
Okay.
fall in love with him.
Yeah, well, that's because he's Ryan Gosling. So
Yeah.
he's a little goose. He's a little baby goose.
He's a little baby goose.
And then that is a cool scene though. It is really fun, and I actually remember seeing that scene in the on the I think it was the Golden Globes or something like that. They played a scene because he was nominated. And then that was it was a really cool scene. He was like explaining the ebbs and flows of a jazz number, and it was actually really cool. And
Yeah, it's great. And he's right.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
yeah. And then they're gonna go. Is there any colors here? There actually aren't. Actually, now that I'm thinking about, it, there's no. It's a pretty like neutral scene.
It's pretty neutral. It's because it's his like world and his passion.
Oh
and
yeah, okay, that makes sense.
his stuff. And she's also in more muted colors here. It's when she gets her call back, and so she's like feeling a little bit better about her, like, you know, her career and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
they've already fallen in love, so she's feeling a little bit better about that. And they're not like officially together yet.
Well,
but
yeah, I should.
we're
I
getting
should
in that
hope
direction.
Not, given what's
She has a
happened.
boyfriend.
Yeah.
Greg kind of like
Greg.
comes out of nowhere.
Yeah. That was weird. Wait, but that's not there. We're not there yet, are we? Yeah, we are pretty much there.
No, we are, because she's like, I got a call back. Let's go watch Rebel Without a Cause,
Yes.
because I haven't seen
Yeah,
it.
at the I forget the name of it, but
I think old movie
at
theater.
10 o'clock. Come on, that's late.
That is late, but that's like a romantic date time.
That's pretty late for a date time.
Well,
I was super sad when she was standing him up, though.
you're an old married man, so.
That's right. That's true.
such an old, settled man.
Oh, but no, we're missing, before we get to her standing him up, this is where we first enter the song that has been stuck in my head for 2 days. City of Stars.
City of Stars is so good.
Oh my God, I love it. And John Legend.
All the music's so good.
John Legend sings it. It's on Spotify. It's not in the movie that I'm aware of, at least. So good. So good.
I want to hear him sing it. Amazing.
They're actually, little nerd alert for you, they're actually on Manhattan Beach. He is. And he walks a pier in Manhattan Beach, not in L.A. It's pretty close to L.A., but it's not in L.A. And Ryan Anderson and I, this is not a lie, guys. Ryan Anderson and I, our last guest, did parkour on that pier. So, everything's coming full circle.
You were making fun of the parkour man in the beginning of this movie.
When I said we were doing parkour, I meant we were like running up to a bench, stepping on it, and then yelling, parkour.
Is that cooler than being actually good at parkour?
Yeah, because we stole it from The Office, so that means we're funny. It means we're good at goofs.
All right. Just checking.
Damn
Just making sure. But I love this. It's so romantic. The colors are so beautiful. He dances with that woman, and then the guy gets jealous, and he's like, get out. And then they dance together, and he's just like in love, and it's so romantic and wonderful.
I don't know what's happening to me, but I really enjoyed that scene.
It's because it's beautiful, and it's just about being a real life human being.
Yeah, because I've done that before.
We all want.
Like when I'm in a good mood, I'm gonna goof on you, random person. Not in a mean way. Like I might dance with you. You're gonna have to deal with it. I'm in a really good mood.
It's just like we're all just on this earth together.
That's right. All one happy place.
Human family, and we're all just here to love each other.
Be one with one another.
Yes.
Be one big. Let's take a real shift in the podcast here. Your existentialism again.
Okay.
And then we go to I think here's the other point that just really hit home with me. The conversation that they were having with her boyfriend and her boyfriend's brother, it was but it was so accurate. I think the easy solution would have been them talking about how's the stocks going? They're going good. Oh, the stock market's down.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. But actually, what they were the guy was describing. He was kind of cool, a little bit. He was describing being a world traveling the world, and he wasn't a total douche. But you still were like, God, I hate you. I hate the person that you are, and I'm rooting for this person who's following their dreams, which I thought was just another way that this movie was just so authentic,
Yeah, and I don't even know if because he's presented as a nice guy,
right? He's not a bad guy.
Is nice to her.
It's just boring,
But it's just they're in all the lighting, everything in that scene is gold except for her green dress.
Yeah.
But everything is gold in that scene, and it's just he's not a bad guy, and it's it's not he even gave up on his dream. Maybe this was the life he wanted, but it's just not the life she wants, and it's not who she wants to be around.
Although
you know what I mean?
I argue perhaps I definitely can't. I don't disagree with you there, but I argue. So this to me, this whole musical, or at least what spoke to me most, is it's about following your dreams and having someone who, whether it's a significant other or not, doesn't have to be, but having someone who encourages you against all odds to follow those dreams.
He just doesn't know how to support
exactly,
her, for
and
sure.
I think he does. I think he has given up on a dream. Whatever he does, maybe not.
Perhaps,
he seemed
but
to represent.
not everyone wants to be.
No, absolutely,
an actor, or
absolutely,
musician,
but he seemed to just not. He didn't show any overarching signs of being a happy person or
there was no real gut passion.
Yeah,
about
exactly.
him. He was just
dispassionate.
nice.
Yeah, so they definitely represented people who don't have passion, who maybe have fun and are maybe good people, but just don't have passion, and that's really this. I think talking about John Legend's character as the villain, I think is so wrong, because the villains here.
Yeah, because he's definitely not.
No, not at all. The villains in this movie are people who aren't passionate. without a doubt. Like anyone in this movie who is not.
And I don't even know if it's villainous. It's
Yeah,
just,
like,
it's
right.
like this movie is more a salute to people that
Exactly. Yeah.
like do follow those dreams that they have.
Right.
But I don't know if it's fair to say that like everyone else that doesn't want to be an actor gave up on their dream and they secretly wanted to don't actor, but they just gave up. Like,
No, I
don't
think
know
there
if
are a
that's
lot of
fair.
dreams though, right? But those dreams usually aren't. I want to be, financier. Like
Sure.
maybe some people. Those
But I
dreams are
think
just
if
to
your
be
dream is I
rich.
want to travel the world and my
Sure.
finance job
Yeah.
allows me to do that, then like
Absolutely.
good and go do it because that's awesome.
Right. Right. But I think those people in this case, I agree with you. I'm not saying like everybody's dream has to be artistic in nature, but I think in this case, they seem to represent people who gave up on their passion and are just sort of accepting a very nice life, but an easy life, right? Which I think that's what spoke to me really, really well.
I'm left with a lot less heartache, at least.
Well, yeah, right. A lot less heartache, a lot more financial
less pain.
stability, but
Yeah.
probably not as passionate or arguably
No
exhilarating.
red light.
That's right. No purple for love. No, although I can't say they're not love, but no red for passion.
Yes. Because when she leaves the restaurant, then she's like bathed in red light again as she's running away.
And the whole
from
movie
it.
theater
And
is
she's
of
running
course
to
red.
Sebastian. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Oh my god, that shot where she's like, she goes to the screen and she's lit by the movie, and you just like kind of see her eyes. Oh my gosh, it's such an amazing.
But who
shot.
goes to the? Fine, it's a cool shot, but dude, come on, have some etiquette.
I mean, it's a dick move for everyone else, but it's 10 o'clock. There are like
That's
three other
true.
people in the theater.
That's
It's
true.
fine.
And I've been to some of those archetypical like old movie theaters. I don't mean to sound like a douchey LA idiot.
You
here.
are a douche.
I know, but I like, just for our listeners at home, LA is like one of my favorite places on the planet. So like, I know I'm being so douchey, like, oh, I've been there, but it's really just because, talk about passion. I so passionately love Los Angeles. So, so I'm sorry if you're like, shut up, but I'm gonna keep talking about it. But I've been to some of those older movie theaters. That I actually told a story about that in one of our episodes, in Beauty and the Beast, I think. But I've been to one of those older movie theaters, and they depicted it really, really effectively. And also, they are almost always empty like that. So it's cool.
It's great. And then like the whole hand holding moment is so pure.
Oh, God.
It's so cute.
Yeah, God, what is happening to me? I love that too.
It's just like, because it so accurately captures like
it's
how
so-
exciting
so
it is.
authentic.
It's so exciting.
Yeah.
When you've like never touched someone's, like held someone's hand before to like, and it's like, oh, are we gonna do this?
Yeah, you like put the bait
So
out
good.
there to see if they're gonna rip away or if they're gonna.
Yeah,
stay
you like put it
there.
on your knee and then it's so good.
And you slowly agree that you're gonna do this thing, and then
You're
although
like,
you
oh.
don't jump to the kiss there. That, come on, guys, slow it down, and also not in a movie theater. Do it something more magical.
Well, that's why it was good they got interrupted.
Yeah, which was also an authentic scene. Like, have you ever been interrupted in the throes of a lusty moment with your partner, and you're like someone walks in, or the lights suddenly turn on, and you're like, oh fuck, and they depicted that super well as well. Like, it's like,
I don't know if I can relate, but I'm sure.
Really? Like, you get trapped in this bubble of just like really exciting and exhilarating moment, and it's like someone just comes in and pops that bubble, and like the real world comes back in. It's crazy.
I can't remember, but
Yeah. Anyway,
yes, it's so wonderful.
Yeah.
And then
the planetarium. I've been there. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna
magic
say
moments. All
Griffith
right, Dan.
Observatory.
We gotta.
I
You
know.
lived in LA.
that. Such a cool scene though. Like the pendulum that
Oh,
that swings
it's
as
so
they
beautiful.
dance. That pendulum
it's just
is like
the choreography is brilliant.
Yeah.
It's so good.
by Mandy
the direction
Moore.
is
That's not
brilliant.
the Mandy Moore, right?
Not the Mandy
Okay, I
Moore,
was gonna
different
say,
Mandy
I saw that
Moore.
and I was like, I gotta ask about that.
Her name is like technically like something else. Like it's like Samantha something. Mandy is a nickname.
Oh, well, she maybe should think about going by Samantha, but also live you. Do what you need to do.
Do you, BB? Yeah, it's stunning.
Yeah.
It's so gorgeous.
It's so
very Fred Astaire, Ginger Rogers.
Yeah, and actually I thought, having very, very, very small threads of like knowledge of those people, I could tell this felt very 50s and 60s sort of, or even earlier, maybe even earlier, but it sort of felt very
They were
like,
30s,
artistic.
but yeah, totally.
Okay, yeah. Very like
Totes.
cheesy artistic, but in like a nice way.
Yeah, where it's just like it just makes you feel like, oh,
Yeah.
that's so beautiful.
And I'm not ashamed to admit, but a little ashamed to admit that currently on my desktop background is the scene where it's the stars and then them dancing and the planet's about to come into.
It's
That
so
is-
nice.
That is my desktop here. I will share my screen for a second just to quickly.
Oh, how exciting!
Start. You see it?
Yes.
It really, really is.
Oh, it's so.
It was
cute.
cool. Like that was cool. That was. It was cheesy, but like it was cheesy in a way that I was like, I'm really into space and I'm really into what's happening here. That was cool.
Cute.
So here we are, Mia and Sebastian, finally in love. For now. How about that for a cliffhanger? Man, if only I actually wrote the musical and could take credit for it. Well, I think we're going to end the show here, pals. But while we say our goodbyes, how about the sounds of a fire crackling to calm our nerves? I don't know. Thanks so much for listening. We're about halfway through, I think, the musical, maybe a little less. Please be sure to tune in to 2 weeks from now's episode. Probably release it around Sunday. We'll make sure to announce it. Please give it a listen. It'll be the second half of this episode where we'll of course wrap up the synopsis and then dig into everyone's favorite bits. So as always, thank you so much for listening and rating and reviewing and really sharing as well. We really appreciate all the people who are letting us know that they shared the show with their friends. That's amazing. So please continue to listen on SoundCloud, iTunes, now TuneIn, really wherever you find your podcasts. And thank you so much to Arcade Audio for having us. Go over to arcadeaudio.net or type in Arcade Audio in any of your favorite podcast apps. Check out some of the shows there. There's some great ones. RJ Hates Rap, The Blank State, Podswoggle, The Heels and Heels. Really, really great stuff that I think you'll like a lot. So again, thanks so much for listening. We'll talk to you soon. Okay, bye.
Thank you for playing Arcade Audio. Play more at arcadeaudio.net.